Okay, the delay is so that I can shut the audio off. Anyway, should be fun this morning. We got a lot of things going on. I wanted to play a clip first of all, and this is about the whole Nicholas Proclaimer Netflix thing. It's still going on, unfortunately, and I think I got a comment on it, but I want to play the clip first to give some context. Hope everything sound okay. Raccoons are watching me. Yes, they are. Raccoons are ready for harvest, I think. We have raccoon harvest here in October in Minnesota. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Okay, so Nicholas is on with Matthew Steele, and they're talking about Nathan and the whole fucking thing that I'm going to make a few comments on.
Sound of gravity. You'll see these thumbnails, and a lot of them feature me. And,
yes, we love you.
I didn't even know who was drawing them, but it's this guy because he was so upset about that. And they're like degrading of me supposedly and stuff. Oh, what's interesting is they always speak.
Expected context. Nicholas called Nathan a murderer, apparently, and he thinks that that's why we've been drawing the art. No, we've been drawing the art because you're so goddamn photogenic and you are so damn much fun, and it doesn't go much beyond that.
Feature like one of our Christian brothers like supporting another one, but he always frames it up as like someone needing a mother to coddle them, but really it's like even when he's trying to insult us, he can't help but like draw our love for each other that we have in our brotherhood. So I pointed that out to him yesterday. But he was getting pretty upset because like I guess he just wants to hurt me and he hasn't been able to hurt me yet. But yeah, so he's making that accusation. I had these wrong thoughts about children and I was upset about that or something. So I played the video, and what I say is after I see the images and I'm like, it's horrible that these images are there. And then I'm like, now Jen Aldridge was supporting this movie, and this is like the worst kind of thing, so I'm really upset. And I don't usually get angry at all. I'm angry for like 1 second a year, literally, and then I'll be like, and then I'm like, that's not me, and I'm not angry anymore. So God pretty much healed my anger issues. But then I was angry for like hours, and then I had to fight with my flesh to not have wrong thoughts because I was so angry. And I literally said it like that without even taking a breath because I was so angry. So the wrong thoughts.
Yes, Nicholas, and that's where you fucked up. And that's where you left yourself open for a whole lot of jokes. But let's look at some history of this shit, okay? So you're feeling really butthurt right now because people are making comments about that comment that you made, saying you were struggling with your flesh right after seeing I don't know what preview you saw, but it wasn't the preview I saw. The preview I saw on Netflix had nothing in it. And we were laughing at you because of your extreme Christian response to evil and to, sex in general. And lately, homosexuality has really got you guys in a bundle. I mean, Jesus Christ, you guys are the ones that bring it up all the time. And in this, when you started talking about this with Matthew Steele, you asked him if he'd heard of the movie, and he barely even knew about it. And you just advertised the movie again to somebody else, And it's a complicated, twisted web, guys. First of all, I went after you because you went after Jen Aldridge because she very, very, very lightly, she just glanced off condoning that movie. And I condoned it based on what I read in the Wikipedia about it and the fact that it won an award and a couple other things, which I'll hopefully I'll get back to if I don't forget about it. And then instead of going after the goddamn movie, Nicholas, you went after Jen Aldridge. And you guys had already gone after her before in the most misogynist way. Your crew, your brotherhood went after her. And we were still a little pissed at you guys about that. Because what the fuck is his name? I don't know, Stinky something. He said he watched a clip of her talking about evolution, and somehow he made it all about the shirt she was wearing. And whatever in the hell else went through his twisted fucking little mind. So you guys had already started this little fiasco between us, right? And you go after Jan with this cringy video, and it was cringy, and try to make your point about the movie. You should have just went after the fucking movie. You should have went after Netflix and the movie. Why the hell did you bring Jen into it? So we brought you into it, and you said this cringy little thing, and I think we made fun of you. And in your defense, you legitimately were talking about your anger, and you didn't mean to say that, but you put your foot in it. And then you fucking doubled down with Stinky and went after calling me speed of pedo pudding, and that's what you guys are doing now. You've been making fun of me. This whole fucking dialogue fell apart between all of us over Stinky, because he initiated the whole making fun of other people and coming up with crazy names. So from now on, when I refer to you, I'm going to use all the crazy names I come up with you, because you've opened this shit up, man. You know, so in your defense, you were talking about your anger and you misspoke, but you left yourself open to a whole lot of fucking criticism. And that is on you. It's on, and what Stinky did is kind of on me, because I went after you, and I go after you, and somebody else goes after me, and somebody else goes after him, and on it goes, you know. So here's the olive branch, motherfucker. You want to stop talking about this shit? And you went after Nathan, calling him a murderer. If you call somebody a pedophile or a murderer, what the fuck do you think they're going to do back to you? You think you're going to be treated well? You think our artwork is going to, like, put you in a good light? No. Use some of those goddamn Christian values, Nicholas. You seem like a good guy. Knock this shit off. Let it go. Drop the fucking movie. You are not the singular crusader against art on Netflix or pornography on the fucking video sphere. It's not your job. Just drop it. You know, let it go. It's a very, very difficult subject, and it isn't something that any of us wanted to think about. But, you know, the director of that movie, I believe, wanted that movie to do exactly what that movie is doing to all of us, and that is get us conversing about this shit. But goddamn, it's not a conversation I wanted to have. When I did the show on you, I told the guys that came on the show, the 5 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I said, I don't want to use certain words, and I don't want to make this movie about goddamn child molestation, because it's not about that. It was about something else, and I wanted to cut. The other thing is that I don't believe in censorship of any movie. I think it's the right of a director to put shit in our face and make us all react the way we're reacting. I think that's the whole point of it. And you guys went after me simply because I said that much, that I don't want censorship. And I promote the right of a director to put something in our faces that will make us upset and make us have all these conversations that we're having. That's what I defended. And you guys went after me. Go look at fucking Smokey's icon, which is still up. That fucking bastard is the one that turned the heat up more than anything else. And Nicholas, if you don't know it, he is digging into your brain. He's wheedling into whatever's good about you, and he's fucking it up. You think about that. If you want to have a conversation about this, we can do that. Okay, so there's that. And that's sort of like, it's all over the place. Let's see, we have, what does love your enemies mean? Okay, this is the video, what does love your enemies mean? And I linked all these videos. It's the one where Nathan went on Praise's channel, and he was on fire. And I think a lot of the shit came from that. And then there was, let's see, what do we have? Vigilance in Dark Times by Nicholas Whitmire, where I think you once again were bringing all this shit up. You know, you're legitimately stung, you know, by people saying bad shit on you on the net, on YouTube. So am I. You know, I mean, it wasn't a pretty day when Stinky did that little video on me, but as it turned out, it was kind of a good thing, you know, kind of showed his true colors. Anyway, so we have that. And then Jay Pacic last night, I linked this video, did a video called Poppycock, where he goes over, something happened with Praise's channel where all of a sudden his channel disappeared for a night. Except in Canada, it wasn't available in the US. And he went over to another channel, did another video there, took that video and that channel down and went back to his original channel. And I think Jay talks about all that, and I haven't had a chance to review it all yet because we have too many other things going on. And then Praise last night starts a video called Neuroplasticity and the Implications of Free Will. Jesus' birthday? What the hell does that mean? I don't know. So I started listening to it last night as I fell asleep, and it's basically Praise raping neuroscience, and neuroscience is going to press charges. Hang on a second, guys. He puts up some guy who did a self-help book on neuroplasticity and changing your mind and handling OCD. You Are Not Your Brains by, I believe his name is Jeffrey M. Schwartz. And he went through that, and then he tried to put up a bunch of papers that supposedly supported his atheist, it's over, the mind is immaterial, and now we know it because free will is proven. And no, if you read the actual neuroscience on free will, pretty much it's a dead subject. There is no free will. You can fucking forget it. at least not the kind of free will you want, which is from some sort of spirit soul that somehow communicating with your brain and moving your neurons around and all this bullshit. So you can forget it. And hopefully we can address this at some point because, boy, he said a lot of stupid shit. I mean, God, you just ignorant. You got to learn a little bit of the goddamn science, you Christian, for Christ's sake. And then at the end of this stream, which is still going on. In fact, I might check this. See where the hell. Oh my God, Nathan's back on. It's still happening, guys. It's still happening. Nathan is on now. Meny Karen was on for a while, arguing with Memory Lapse DM for quite a while, and now Nathan is back on. So. Warriors, you guys, man. I don't know what the hell, why you subject yourself to this shit. But so anyway, that's still happening. And Praise's streams, like yesterday, he had one that had 11 hours of dead air. I think it was like 27 hours or so. I don't know what the hell he did. He just lets the streams run. There's that shit. The Rage, and I linked this video, did a thing on necessary censorship, bigotry, or insults. And I believe he had Stinky on and Chris Keith and got a whole bunch of others. Oh, and Kathy. God, we got to talk to that dude. Yes, I'm flying solo today. I got to do it. I got a lot of stuff to do. Or not a lot of stuff to do, but for now, let's see. Okay, so we have the Rage, and then Standing for Truth. They all of a sudden decided to go after Aaron Ra this week, Praise and Standing, and I think a few others. I don't know why it's Aaron Ra week or something. Is that what happens at the end of September? I don't know. I'm not sure. But then he had Dr. Carter on, Dr. Robert Carter, who is, God, he is ignorant. How can you get, I think he has a PhD. Yeah, he must if he's calling himself doctor. How can you get a PhD if you're this goddamn ignorant, if you're this blinded? But it's a PhD in marine biology or something. And he doesn't have shit to say about genetics and the topics that he covers. And I listened to enough of it to realize that he is the same as Tour and all the others. They're talking head scientists who are no longer doing real science. They decided to come over and retire and promote their goddamn religion instead. And that's all they do is they promote their religion. They are not representing science. They are not representing mainstream science on evolution. They really are just talking heads lying for Jesus. So, yes, Green Day. We need a little Green Day in our lives. And then, let's see. So I think that covers all the videos. I think, anyway, let's see. What else about the Nicholas thing? You know, shit. Nobody wanted to talk about this fucking subject, Nicholas. And nobody wants you to keep going after the wrong thing. I mean, you guys, instead of going after the source of what you consider evil, you go after us and people that have an opinion on evil. And instead of going after abortion, you go after people who have suffered through an abortion, you know, like I have. And it's not an easy fucking thing. And throwing it in our face and calling us murderers, probably not the best way to promote your goddamn ideas, because we can fucking vote, you know? There's just all this shit, and you guys are driving a wedge. I mean, you really want power so that you can push this shit down everyone's throat. There's some of the streams I think that I've linked. Part of the dialogue is getting is America founded on Christian principles? And it's always Christian principles. Well, America was founded on not coming out against any particular religion. It's founded on religious freedom. Atheism is not a religion. It's just a lack of a religion. And but it is part of, you know, what people's opinions are about the subject of belief in fairy tales and things like that. Sorry, I call them fairy tales. I think they are. America is founded on that freedom. And if you want religion in the schools and in the government, you're going to have to accept Islam and Buddhism and everything else all at once. And we're all going to get the vote on what our particular moral influence should be. And you're going to end up in the same fucking position you are right now. We don't legislate morality. We're not going to legislate homosexuality. We shouldn't be legislating what women do with their bodies. We shouldn't legislate. This is about personal freedom. You know, we have to stick to that. You guys are driving a fucking wedge right through this country. I think the South should secede, and we're going to let them this time. You know, and all you guys can go down there and you can have your own little Godspell country and have a good time. Okay, Nick, I think I'm done. I'm going to give you a link. Midnight, let you say a word, or anybody else who wants to say a word about all this bullshit. But anyway, we should, you know, Nicholas, we know you had thoughts. You can't get into this goddamn subject without, you know, having this fucking, oh God, just why bring it up at all, Nicholas? What the hell's wrong with you? Okay, there's your link. Oh my God, I got a squirrel in the backyard where my cats are. If they haul that son of a bitch in the house, I'm going to be mad. Okay, Midnight, you got a link? Nicholas look like a hobo from down the street. He does.
Hello.
Hey, oh, hang on a second. One more big thing. Shit, I forgot. Arn Ra is coming on at 1 p.m. Central Time Friday to talk to Demeter on this channel about abiogenesis. And the two of them wanted to meet, and they're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to kind of take a bit of a back seat, but I'll probably get involved a little bit. But it's just going to be the three of us. It's not going to be, you know, confusing shuffle. And we're happy to have Arn. He's a great guy. Okay.
What the fuck happened to Nicholas?
Nicholas?
Yeah, you know, the guy on the camera, that he looks like Charles Manson.
Oh, the Charles Manson guy. Yeah. He's still, well, he's reacting the same way I reacted when they attacked me. We attacked him, and he's like, they said I had thoughts about little girls, and you know, people made fun of him because of his cringy reaction. and I mean, he should feel the way he feels. He was attacked, and I would like to, extend an olive branch and say he was actually talking about having thoughts about anger. He wasn't actually saying those cringy things about, kids or whatever. So anyway, I just wanted to straighten that out because we made fun of him. I mean, we laughed at him, and they laughed at me, and, it goes back and forth in the fucking war zone. But, when people say shit about you, like this, and the accusations have come from both sides, it fucks you up, and he's fucked up and he keeps talking about it.
I mean, yeah, like if you want to go off air, I don't mean now, obviously, but
well, we want to be a little bit fair when we can, and Nicholas is not a bad person, and he does try his goddamnedest to shoehorn his humanity into this crazy religion that he's subscribed to. This, and that's part of the problem. These guys are so fucked up about sex and homosexuality and everything else that they can't not think about it. And if they were to really read their Bible, I'm pretty sure there's something in the Bible that warns them about doing this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Christ. Read your Bible, meditate, get the fuck off YouTube and straighten it out with yourself. Don't put it in our faces. We want to talk about evolution, for Christ's sake. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can review chat here. Sorry, guys, I haven't been listening. I didn't really want to talk about this Nicholas shit anymore, and I want most of that to go away. I'm more interested in what Praise said about free will and what Aaron, Ron, Demeter are going to talk about, and what Otangelo is talking about, and goddamn standing for truth and some of the talking heads he's bringing on. Did they really? Was it the same thing where they advertised the movie?
I remember the extreme evangelical reaction to The Last Temptation of Christ back in the 1980s. It seems like the brain trust is doing the same thing for cuties. I mean,
yeah, they're making this movie famous.
That
What's that?
Cuties is cutie. I don't know.
Well, it made us all have a conversation, like on the Rage. We all, like, after they did the whole assault on me, Stinky, we had a conversation on the Rage about women and sexualizing women, and we had two very powerful women on there talking about what they've gone through. And it started a conversation about, identity and over sexualizing, and we all do it. Our culture it stinks,
I mean, yeah, culture, man. What is it good for? I said we get rid of culture altogether.
Yeah, we shouldn't have culture. Well, I think the pandemic is, no, okay. Now, without the internet, we wouldn't have culture at all right now because none of us would ever see each other or talk to each other. Yeah, so culture
is here. Like, it's funny. Culture just develops naturally when you get people together. There's, nobody. Nobody. Nobody gets up in the morning and says, "I'm going to develop culture today."
And it's changing. It's like.
Unless they're scientists and they're trying to develop a culture in a petri dish.
Enlightenment principles. Yeah, we're slowly becoming enlightened to a lot of things, and the Christians are kind of pushing back on that, and I guess that's their job. That's what they do. They're like the anchor that we're dragging while we're like, we forgot to pull up the anchor before we took off with the boat, and they are the anchor. When it comes to neuroscience, they're a really big anchor. The whole thing, like the reason that I'm an anti-theist is because of neuroscience. Do you understand why that would be?
Because everything in the because everything in the brain is physical, including consciousness, and there's really no soul.
It's more than that. We know enough about our brains, and we know how our emotions work and our biology works, that we know that things like racism, bigotry, really bad things that happen in sex are all a result of our biology. And we have enough science right now that we can start teaching our children to be better human beings, because we have this frontal cortex, which has a wonderful ability to override the baser biological part of ourselves. And if we just teach our children a few tricks that we've learned from neuroscience, and the other thing is that neuroscience has told us how to teach children 100 times better than we're doing it right now. But these fuckers who believe that the mind is the soul are not going to allow that kind of information to filter down into how we educate our children. They're going to make it about good and evil instead of making it about, let's teach our little boys to keep their fucking dicks in their pants, you know, and not be little jerks and little bullies and rapey fucking teenagers. You know, it's just, we can teach our kids to be better, but we have to give up this idea that the mind is a spirit. And we have to start looking at the science of our mind and our biology and understand how much our biology influences us. You know, and they're not going to allow that conversation. They have blocked it at every point. That's why fucking theism has to go. I'm sorry. If you're going to get in the way of a progressive, decent society that we could be, then fuck you. You got to get out.
I can't believe I'm going to defend theism here, but some people need it in order to function in society, and some people need it in order not to go around killing people.
Oh no, that too. Okay, what you feel when you engage in spiritual practices and spirituality is also part of that science and part of that biology. And if we just understand that you don't have to have the belief and the dogma, and you can have all the fucking spiritual feelings you want as a secular human being, then we've also learned something really important.
So I gotta ask you something. You know, have you ever looked into why some people don't have self-control but others do?
There's variation in human populations, and one of them, I mean, a lot of things happen to children when when their brains are forming in the first 3 years. One of those is serotonin can actually, through epigenetics, can actually be lowered.
My favorite subject.
Those individuals will be more impulsive. Like, I don't know if you've ever had a friend that if you said anything at all, he'll just punch you instead of, without even thinking about it. Well, there's a guy with a.
Well, no, I didn't. I never had a friend like that. But no, but for me, there are some times where somebody says something, I don't mean snap, but it's just like it's one of those. I never been diagnosed with this, but it's one of those PTSD things. You know what I mean? Where you feel threatened, but you're really not. Yeah.
There's just, there's all kinds of variation in humans, and you got to deal with that. We're always going to have an outlying 1%.
I mean, honestly, I should have acted better on that, but whatever. That's another story.
We're going to have an outlying 1% that are going to be our serial killers and our crazy ass fucking psychopaths. But in a lot of ways, they define who the rest of us are. And it's an interesting concept. But if you look at a flock of turkeys and you approach them, you will find that 99% of the flock will run like hell, but 1% will sit there and look at you, and he's the thinker turkey or the high risk turkey, and he's the one that will come out and take the bread that you're offering. And then the rest of the turkeys will look at him and say, well, he got bread. So, and before, like, I trained flocks of turkeys by dealing with the outlier.
You trained turkeys, you trained raccoons.
Oh yeah.
What next, people?
Well, here's the deal. Okay, I have I live in kind of an upscale neighborhood, and when we moved in, we were actually renting this house before we purchased it. And some of our neighbors were a little bit snooty with us. So I got this idea that I'm going to train all these animals. And I am going to walk down the street with this black robe and hood on and this gigantic staff. And behind me is going to be this funnel of turkeys and raccoons and deer and coyotes following me down the street as if I command them.
You have such an active imagination. speed.
That's how I'm going to attend the block party. So I'm training them to follow me so that I can, put on this whole persona and scare the shit out of some of my. Well, since that I've gotten to know my neighbors, it's been 20 years and they're actually fairly nice people, but we had a few judgy ones in the beginning. So.
I mean, define judgy ones.
Judgy ones?
Yeah,
one of them looked at me and said, "That's rental property, isn't it?" And I said, "No, my sons own the property. Fuck you." Yeah.
So have you ever? God damn it! Have you ever looked into will, like willpower, how to increase willpower? Why some people are more successful than others? The marshmallow experiment. How people who how children who actually waited for the other marshmallows were actually more successful than kids that were. Yeah. Also, interesting thing, there are ways to actually increase willpower. You need the willpower to increase it, which is a paradox.
When you start understanding a bit about your brain, you can train your brain to do all kinds of things. Probably the first thing you need to know about willpower is you have to figure out what the fuck you want to will, and what is willing you not to do the things that you think you should be doing. And when you understand a little bit of it, you can. Neuroplasticity is easy as shit. I mean, what you have to do is you have to make sure you're conscious of something for 30 seconds. And you have to hold it in your consciousness. Are you listening?
Yes.
Okay. Hold it in your consciousness for 30 seconds and do that repeatedly. Then go to sleep and wake up, rinse and repeat, and you can change any behavior that you want to. It's not all that difficult to change. And there's very good science behind how that changes your behavior.
You got a paper I can read? I'm not saying I don't trust you. That sounds interesting. I just want to read about it.
Well, I have a book by Eric Kandel on neuroscience that might help, but I think it'd be better if you just fucking listen to me and believe me. I don't know.
No, you know what? I'll give you my address. You can mail it over.
Yeah. I love that book. Anyway.
Okay, what's the name of it? I'll fucking buy it next month. I don't know.
I figured this shit out myself. Well, anyway, this book that Praise was talking about, You Are Not Your Brain. It's a 4-step.
That's okay, kind of... Okay, go ahead.
Okay, listen to this. It's a 4-step solution for changing bad habits, ending unhealthy thinking, and taking control of your life. And I don't know if he talks about, how neuroplasticity works, but I'm linking the book. But this sounds like a book for you, and it's available on Kindle for $14.99. Plus, you'll earn a $1.50 credit.
Well, nice. I've read a few books on neuroplasticity and how to change the brain. For example, The Brain That Changes Itself. What was it? Like The Mind by The Mind, The Story of You by something Eagleman. I think I gave you. Yeah, it's definitely so. Wait, so it's called You Are Not Your Brain.
Yeah.
Which, when you think about it, that title is kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. I don't know what
you are your brain. You just have power to.
Well, you are not your brain. You are all the things in the world around you and your body and a number of other things that But he's basically saying that there's something we run into in alcohol and addiction recovery, and that is you'll have people come in and they'll say, "Oh yeah, but I'm mentally ill. I'm bipolar. I'm depressed. I have this problem. I have that problem." And it's almost like they're being controlled by their brain, or they're controlled by what they think their brain is doing or what they think is wrong with them.
True.
So they think that they can't escape who they are. Yeah. And the truth of the matter is that you could completely retrain yourself. If you had a head injury today, in about 3 weeks, you could be an entirely new person. No, you had absolutely no memories.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, but the question I wanted to ask you isn't that isn't that a little dangerous when you're when you're talking about bipolar disorder, because they're as much as you may want to change, bipolar disorder is a bit different than wanting to break the habit of saying "fuck you" every morning. You know what I mean?
Well, if you have a if you're raising horses and you have one stallion that's particularly spirited, and he's just a motherfucker, and you have a hell of a time controlling him, you can learn to ride that stallion. And that's what learning how to deal with bipolar is. I mean, I am bipolar as all fuck, and I love it. I mean, I've learned to love who I am. I used to be on lithium and fucking antidepressants.
I'm not sure whether I am bipolar. I do know I have.
Well, we all are to a degree.
Well, I mean, yeah, to a degree, everyone has every fucking mental illness available. Just degree,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, all of us have a bit of bipolar personality disorder. Sorry, borderline personality disorder. You know what I mean? Just none of us have the fucking.
Yeah, Scott said saying "fuck you" every morning is a cherished ritual. Yep, I love it. I also love the prayer I say every morning. God, what the fuck? Yeah, it's a cherished ritual too. Yeah, saying "fuck you" is really cathartic, and it's good therapy. Everybody should say it. That's why we swear on this channel. We swear like hell because we want the right part of our brain involved. So I don't know, but no, you can, whatever the hell your brain is, for each of us, it's going to be a mix. The art of getting older and getting past your 40s, if you survive that fucking long, because it's very difficult to do, is to realize what the hell you are and learn how to ride that brain like whatever kind of fucking stallion or horse it is, and learn how to live your life without fighting with yourself all the time. I mean, some of the shit you cannot change, but you can learn to ride it. I mean, you can learn skills to go around it, and as you get older, if you make it, into your 50s and 60s and 70s, if you don't let your brain dry up, you can learn a fuck ton about how to live, and it really is kind of cool because you've got that perspective looking backwards. So I don't know, and I'm amazed by it, absolutely amazed by it. If I could go back and talk to myself when I was 9 years old, holy shit! First of all, I'd fucking punch myself in the mouth, and of course that'd be child abuse. Would it? Didn't I?
Okay, sorry. What I missed, I was answering a phone call.
Oh shit! Would it be child abuse if I went back in time and punched my 9-year-old self in the mouth?
I mean, yes, except you'd be abusing yourself, so it's still child abuse.
That's kind of a fucking gray area. It's a gray area.
No. I wouldn't say it's a gray area, but it does remind me. It does remind me of a really fucked up meme that I don't know if I should bring up on air.
Probably not. Not until you prove it with me, dude. Because I don't want to have to take the fucking stream down. We'll discuss it, and you can bring it up tomorrow.
I mean, or I could tell you off air.
Yeah, something like that. And we can decide if it's ready for prime time. There's some things that I just don't want to fucking get into on this channel, and the whole Nicholas fucking bullshit thing was one of them. And god damn it. But at some point maybe we all ought to be brave enough to have a really fucking frank discussion about it all. But Jesus Christ, I don't want to take the hit for it. So fuck y'all. It's an evolution science channel.
But okay, like you're not your brain. Like have you started reading that book I mentioned yet? Hang on.
Which one? I probably bought it. Did I buy it?
I don't know. Let's see.
I think I bought it on
The Neuroscience of Intelligence, Cambridge Fundamentals of Neuroscience and Psychology.
I'm not sure if I got that. I think that one might have been expensive. Neuroscience of Intelligence. Oh, I did. I think I did buy that.
Yeah, I have a few interesting books. I bought Grit, I Hate You, Don't Leave Me, The Highly Sensitive Person, The Conquest of Bread, which is fucking arguing for communism. The Science of Self-Learning, Book 1. Yeah, I have a lot of books I'm reading, but never finish.
I got a new one. Where the hell is it? What did I get the other day? Oh, let's see. The Original Life by Paul Davies.
Nice.
Yeah, that one's pretty good, but I just don't have time to read all this shit. Anyway, I got textbooks. I got to read, and that's the other thing. This fucking YouTube's eating my life. Do you want to listen to a little of this Nicholas thing? It was interesting. I don't know.
Not really, to be honest.
Yeah. I was listening to Meny Karen argue with Memory Labs DM this morning, and I had to shut it off because my blood pressure was just boiling. And Meny and I have to go over Praise's video, so that's going to be our third part on homosexuality, and we're going to do that, him and I together. But I'm looking forward to Arn Ra and Demeter. It's going to be interesting. I have 2 conversations with Demeter that I have to edit and put up on a post where we've talked a little more in depth about abiogenesis and some things like that. And I really love the puzzle analogy I came up with yesterday to explain how ridiculous when creationists argue with us, how ridiculous what they are asking us to do is, and how science doesn't fucking work that way. So much to do. And then, God, I kind of want to wrap up a little Otangelo stuff and then return and really focus on the standing in poop brain trust, because there's so much work to do there. I mean, these guys are just, oh my God, Stanley, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Anyway, okay, so I think we're going to end this midnight maybe talk offline, unless you have something you would like to say.
I guess what I would like to say is that Nicholas, shave your beard.
Yeah, that would really help. You know, he'd look like less of a fucking crazy zealot. You know,
unless he was going for a crazy zealot.
You know, that whole thing with a man wearing a gigantic beard is kind of like sticking man right in everybody's face. You know, it's like, come on, shave, get a fucking razor.
Yeah,
you look better. And he's probably a nice looking kid, you know. I don't know. Anyway, Nicholas, you know, maybe we could have a rational talk where you don't come at me with your claws out like you did when you were on my channel. Or maybe we could have a private talk about all this. I'd like to make you feel better. I understand what it's like to be called names on the internet, particularly those fucking names. I mean, it hurts. You know, it digs into your soul. And Nicholas is feeling that right now. Part of the reason you're feeling
it, we didn't really have souls.
Yeah, well, okay. I can tell you.
I
can tell you why I use the word soul. And I use the word God too all the time when I deal with other addicts. So anyway, but I have a perfectly good secular reason for doing so. But anyway, what the fuck was I saying before you?
You were talking about the soul. You were talking about the soul, and I said,
digging into your soul. Yeah. Yeah, you know the guy. He's a nice guy, and he has been attacked. And the reason he's attacked is because he attacked. And the reason he attacked is because, you know, it goes on and on and on. You know, it's this whole chain of, you know, shit, you know, that we don't really have to have that kind of a dialogue. And since a certain individual has entered this community, it seems like we're more at odds with each other than ever before. Can't have conversations. I don't know.
Okay. Is that certain individual?
No, I don't think he has a name. It's like what is that Rolling Stones song? Hope you guess my name. Yeah.
I don't know. It's whatever.
It's a good song anyway, but yeah, there's some, you know, shit that's entered their community. I mean, they allow all this crazy in like Gavin and George Bond and fucking what the hell's his name? Jason Ezard. They allow all this crazy into their channel just because they're part of the Brotherhood. And they have to make excuses for each other. Then at some point they end up fighting with each other, and it just ricochets. And then their dialogue about atheists lately has gotten so fucking like that's all they talk about: atheist religion, atheist worldview. I mean, God, they've just gone fucking off the deep end. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Anyway, Edward, you are fucking late. We're about to end here, so we're going to end the broadcast. Said a lot of things. Hope I didn't fucking put my foot in this again.
You did, but that's another story.
Yeah, Nicholas, you're a good guy. You're not a bad person. Don't let this own you. Okay. So ending, guys, goodbye, and hopefully we'll do something a little later in the day.